Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot. I'm here to do a pick a card reading for you all today on this new moon solar eclipse, no less, that we have coming up on October 14th in the sign of Libra. This is while the sun is still in Libra. We also have, Libra is ruled by Venus. So thinking about the impact of Venus, the things we love, what creates beauty in our lives, what we value, our love, our ability to love and to give and receive love, all those good feels that Venus can bring, but also the lessons that Venus can bring as well. Also, speaking of Venus, we have Venus in Virgo right now. So there's a real sort of grounded, practical aspect to how we are approaching love, beauty, what we value, the luxury in our lives, and what really constitutes luxury. Are we thinking about that with the solar eclipse? Very often, as opposed to a lunar eclipse, solar eclipses often bring changes in our outer world, in our outer lives, in invisible, demonstrable ways that we can see and are impacted by. So how is that going to work in Libra, where it is very much concerned with our relationships, with a sense of fairness, with a sense of balance and partnerships, and being able to, going back to Venus and Virgo for a moment, thinking about Virgo with its routines, its care for the self, its ability to analyze and be logical about what needs to be done on a consistent basis and done right? Virgo the Virgin, that perfectionist quality. So this is not a time, I feel, Spirit is being really clear. This lunation, this new moon in Libra on Saturday, October 14, solar eclipse is going to be amplified. Like really this whole process that we all go through between loving ourselves, caring for ourselves, wanting beauty, wanting the good things in life, both, tangibly and internally, and how to measure that up against or keep that in balance with the demands of the outside world, with our relationships, our careers, other things that we love and are passionate about, how all of that stays in balance. And also that sense of, because it is an eclipse, how are things about to happen over the next 6 months, in relation to Venus in particular, in relation to love, in relation to how we show ourselves, the discipline that's required, because Virgo is also a disciplinarian just in terms of the daily habits, the routines, being consistent, being persistent. All right. So having said all that, I've got 3 piles in front of me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you like and subscribe, come back again. But my process, just so you're not sitting there watching me flip cards, because I do a combination of tarot and oracles. I've got 7 different decks in front of me that I've pulled from today. Spirit led me to for you. And instead of you watching me, it takes me about 15 minutes just to pray, cleanse the decks, get it together, and do the pile. So I save us a little time online for that. But having said that, I've got the 3 piles in front of me right now. So I'm going to show them to you. I'm going to lower the camera, show them to you, and see what you feel, okay? Let's go. There we have it. All right, let me move my little coffee cup out of the way. You don't want to look at that. All right. So we have, bring that down just a little bit more. There you go. All right. So for pile number 1, it will be for those of you who may be drawn to this rose quartz angel. All right. That's going to be pile number 1. For pile number 2, it's this, I always forget the name of it. Somebody's going to tell me. It's a moon, Opalite, but it's this I want to say Metatron or something, but it's got this sacred geometric energy. So that'll be pile number 2. And for pile number 3, those of you who may be drawn to the seashell. Okay, that's pile number 1, the angel. Pile number 2 is this geometric cube, Metatron. And for pile number 3, it is the seashell. All right. And I'm also led one of these cards is in this stack, but I'm also led to give you, Spirit is saying, give you all an extra catalyst and see how it vibes with you. It may help you choose, and you may be drawn to more than one pile. Very often that's the case. There's messages for you, various messages for you. But again, the focus here is on setting our intentions, is on what you can expect, how you're going to be impacted by this new moon solar eclipse in Libra on October 14th. Okay, for pile number 1 with that angel, you also have a catalyst card of ask for guidance. All right, so if that pings you and maybe draws you closer to making a decision on that pile, ask for guidance. Pile number 2, that opalite geometric stone, you have death is an illusion. Really interesting, especially in light of that eclipse that's coming. So when we think about death, it's really more, it is an illusion, and it's very often tied to ways that life is going to change transformationally in a way that makes you almost feel like a rebirth. All right. Pile number 3, you have, appreciate your talents. All right. Appreciate your talents. That's pile number 3. So take a breath or two and see how you may be drawn towards one of those 3. I'll announce them again. The angel, ask for guidance, pile number 1. Pile number 2 is the opalite geometric stone, death is an illusion. And pile number 3 is the seashell, appreciate your talents. Okay? All right, so let me move these 2 and 3 aside for a moment. And then we will go in and see what your messages are for this powerful. I was reading one article that said, this particular new moon solar eclipse is going to feel like a new moon times 10. And that, eclipses don't play. They do. And what's interesting about them is very often you don't know ahead of time. It could be something that really catches you off guard, or something that you didn't anticipate or expect. And it's not to worry about. Remembering, all of these celestial events are designed and created by our guides in the cosmos to help us evolve, to help us move ahead. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. We have a 3 of Cups. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have, let me go to my other tarot first. We have the Hanged Woman in this deck. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting, because we were talking about Venus in Virgo with that earthy energy. All right, so those are the 4 tarot. Now let's see here. We have Face Your Dragons. I'll show these to you up close. We have Don't Fear Change, Embrace It and Grow. Wow, those 2 are very, very related. We have Flying. That's how you're going to face it and grow. Because once you do that, you release. And Don't Relinquish Your Power. Ooh. And then I have a final message for you that I'll share at the end of your pile. All right. Pile number 1. You were drawn to this catalyst. Ask for guidance. And the area of life that Spirit is speaking to here, when I'm looking at the energy from these 4 tarot cards that came, first and foremost, remember we talked about the Queen of Pentacles. So we are dealing with what is showing up for you in your tangible world. For many of you, this is about changes that you are waiting to see. I'm looking at this Hanged Man. These are changes that you are waiting for, that are in the works, that, you're really contemplating what needs to happen in the next stage of your life, because we've got this Wheel of Fortune here. All right. And you want and feel, and I think many of you are feeling pretty optimistic around the joy of what can come next, or deciding for yourselves, talking about that Venus in Virgo and the discipline of self-care. Many of you could be, if you were drawn to this pile asking for guidance, it's about needing guidance around how to actually see things manifest, to feel more generous, to have a sense of completion, to know that what you are doing is leading you in the direction of your life purpose and leading you to joy. If you have had doubts around that, because now I'm looking at some of your oracles that came. Remember, we had this face your dragons. Some of you may feel, especially in light of this hanged man, you may feel like life has kind of been stuck, or you're doubting yourself because you know that joy is possible. You know that generosity and having what you need is possible. You've definitely had a lot of experiences around, I feel like for some of you, there have been times of plenty and there have been times where you had to figure things out. Maybe there were some more challenging times around your prosperity, around all those areas that Venus shows up in our lives in terms of what we have, our ability to create, our ability to feel flush and abundant. And there's something here where whatever the setbacks have been, because this in combination with the Wheel of Fortune says you're looking at life experience in total right now. This is not just what's happening in this moment or at this particular time and whatever situations are really the most pressing for you right now. This is also about life patterns and how you have learned to get beyond the obstacles. And for some of you right now, that hangman is speaking to, that's what you're considering right now. You're having to take that moment, to step back a little bit and say, I know that I can produce. I know that I am abundant. I know that when I am abundant, I share with others. I give to others. I nurture others. I do all of those things that Venus makes us want to do. That joy and abundance that we see in that Three of Cups. There's something coming for you all that is new. This eclipse for you in Libra is bringing you some sort of fresh perspective on what relationships have cost you and what it is you're willing to do at this point to invest or reinvest in your relationships. This don't fear change, embrace it and grow. That's exactly what's happening with you right now. And this Wheel of Fortune is tied to that. Spirit is saying there's more, there's so much more that's coming your way that's going to feel joyful. Looking at that Three of Cups, it's going to feel joyful to you. It's going to give you that flying, literally, like being lifted, having your burdens lifted, having your spirits lifted, being able to fly and embrace this energy that's coming your way, that this eclipse is going to bring you. But in order to get there, I don't even want to say a but, I want to say and. In order to get there, it's don't relinquish your power. And I think this is your power to produce. This is, Spirit is saying, remember that whatever changes begin to show up for you in the next 6 months, remember that, and I say 6 months because that's typically what we see energetically when we get an eclipse. The energy can be very, very impactful during that 6-month time frame. So for you, I want a little bit more on that Queen of Cups and the Hangman. Spirit, please show me. The Queen of Pentacles and the Hangman. The Eight of Swords. Yes. Okay, there's that confirmation. So I pulled an Eight of Swords on top of the Queen of Pentacles. There has definitely been, this is that facing your dragons. For some of you, there's a period of time you're going through. This eclipse is going to show you that whatever it is that's really concerning you, that you've had some worries about, some doubts, anxiety around your ability to produce and nurture and be nurtured, be taken care of, that going back to that Virgo in Venus in Virgo. It's how things are showing up for you. And there may be, for those of you drawn to this angel and asking for guidance, you may feel a little put upon right now. You may feel a little like things have not been fair in how they've happened to you, thinking again about Libra. and Libra being the scales of fairness, of balance, of partnership. Some of you may be feeling like you just have not gotten everything, and it comes with the Six of Swords. I like the fact that both of these swords came, you all, because remembering too, Libra is an air sign. The air quality is very important right now. Air meaning how we talk to one another, how we communicate both in writing and vocally, how we even say our prayers, how we're communicating to our spirit guides in the spirit realm. But this is the path forward away from those worries. That's the beauty of it. There is that anxiousness, that anxiety that you've been feeling, perhaps around where your power has gone. This hangman could be because you've been feeling a power leakage. You know, you've been feeling a little less like I've done my manifestation, going back to the Queen of Pentacles. I've done manifestation. I've taken the workshops. I've read the books. I'm doing everything I know how to do to stay on my life purpose and find my destiny. Very tied to the Wheel of Fortune, you know, the sense of destiny, the sense of purpose, the sense of being on your path. And it is leading you to this joy and happiness. It's leading you to this flying and this sense of being lifted. But to get there, there's a reminder from your spirit guides in this reading, you all. Don't relinquish your power. Don't forget that you are powerful, and that could very well be why, if you felt kind of stuck lately or things are not moving, it's because one of the gifts that the hangman gives us is an opportunity to look at things from a different perspective. Thinking about that even in the context of Libra. What does Libra do? The scales. It says, here's my opinion, my needs, here's yours, and I gotta weigh them together, hopefully to get, to get something that everybody comes out feeling really good. So that's your ticket. It's facing those, face your dragons, face the challenges, look at it square in the eye, and basically reclaim your power over that. Step beyond that fear, because you got that confirming message there. Don't fear the change. For some of you, if life has changed in recent ways, I'd say over the past several years, maybe a little more, where you're feeling like what you used to be able to do and how you have functioned typically has somehow gotten weighed down. Maybe by responsibilities, maybe by just you running out of a little out of steam. I feel like for some of you, you've just been tired. And so Spirit is saying, once you face that, once you recognize what that is, what that slowdown is really about, look it square in the eye and don't be afraid of the change. Embrace the change. Embrace this next phase of your life that the Wheel of Fortune brings. Here comes that joy. Here comes that feeling of flying. You ask for guidance, and Spirit is saying that is it. We want you to remember, how does it feel to be joyful? How does it feel to have your social connections, to have laughter, to have that feeling of Venus, just luxuriating in good times in life? Don't relinquish your power and your ability to draw that in and magnetize it. And I've just pulled the King of Cups for some of you all. This is getting in touch with your emotional power. Your emotional power. And for some of you, this is a person who plays this role or will play this role in your lives. This is someone who is trusted, who is emotionally mature. Notice this is coming in water with that Queen of Pentacles. Water replenishes the earth. You know what I mean? In terms of elements. And so this is someone who, this is an energy and someone who, and I'm also feeling Spirit is telling me right now, for some of you, this is a spirit guide. This is a father. This is gender aside, if it's someone who identified as male, but this is someone who looks over you and guards you and wants you, will help you face those dragons, will help you get over that fear of change or how things have changed. Your card now, Spirit just let me to pick it up for you. This is your closing message, and it says, I'll show it to you. I'll read it first. When I surrender my will to the care of Spirit and the universe, I attune my energy with an ever-present stream of well-being. Let me hold that up for you for a moment. That so beautifully ties into your reading and everything we've seen here. That ties in so powerfully to this hangman that we've been looking at for you. That stillness is taking you to this place of flying, of being released from something, of being released from a fear, of being released from feeling like perhaps something is gone. Some aspect of life has moved on past you, and you're sitting there going, well, wait a minute, that makes me feel a little powerless. It feels like circumstances are changing around me and I don't have control over them. But Spirit is saying here, when you surrender, because that's exactly what the hangman does. It's an energy of surrendering to that greater picture. And it is a deeply spiritual card. It is ruled by Neptune. Deeply, deeply spiritual. So your guides, pile number one, are saying, you're covered. We're here for you. This King of Cups, for some of you as well, you could be a water sign. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, or Sun, Moon, or Rising. This could be how that energy, but there is a maturity in this energy. When the King of Cups comes, there is a maturity in understanding what has happened and being able to put your emotions into perspective, regaining that balance that Libra offers. There's a reminder again, do not relinquish your power. Spirit is saying, keep in mind, this guidance is saying, keep in mind how you have lived your life up until now and where you were and what you were doing when things were rolling your way. Remembering that the Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter. It is about growth and expansion. So if you've been feeling tightened up or like that expansion is not happening, there is a stream of well-being. Going back to these two cards, this water that came around you, that Three of Cups and the King of Cups, there's a stream of well-being that is coming your way and is going to be revealed to you during this time. Next 6 months, be on the lookout for it, of this solar eclipse, this new moon solar eclipse in Libra. It's going to impact your relationships and your relationships in terms of the bounty that they offer. Going back to how you are nurtured, how they show up for you. Solar eclipse, your outer world, your outer relationships, things that are literally comprise the life that you are living. These things are going to start to go with so much more easy flow, and you will feel that sense of luck coming to you almost out of nowhere, because eclipses can do that for you, and that's what's going to send you flying. That's what's going to send your spirit soaring. And it happens once you are able to embrace the change. Some of you don't do change very well. That's what Spirit is saying here. And your guides are owning up to that. Like, we know you don't really like change that much, but guess what? Hang on to your power. Embrace the change, because guess what? You're going to like these changes. When you surrender to them, there are going to be things that appear for you all, pile number one, that you're going to go, wow, I couldn't even have guessed this. I couldn't have planned this. I didn't see this coming. All right? Beautiful reading for you. Let me know. I would love to hear how that pinged you and what's going on in relation to that. Okay, so there's that one. Let's go move on now to pile number two. Those of you who were drawn to Death is an Illusion and the geometric, I got to look that up. That's bugging me now. But I know it's like this geometric power grid almost. All right, Death is an Illusion with the Opalite power grid. You have the Queen of Wands with the Four of Wands. All right, bring the fire, why don't we? We have Engage Your Invisibles. Ooh, Spirit is coming through and saying, engage your invisibles. We have Your Life Plan is Unfolding as It Should. A Field of Dreams. Wow, there's so much new potential for you through this solar eclipse in Libra, pile number two. Be yourself. Isn't that empowering? Be yourself. This is going to be your closing message. I'll do that in a moment with the Eight of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. Death is an illusion. All right. I see a couple of things emerging here for you all, pile number 2. One is there is a message here for you from your guides, and also for some of you, this could be from deceased, from your ancestors, from your loved ones. It's one reason why, and I love this. Spirit led me to pull this extra catalyst for those of you who watched at the beginning. Spirit led me to pull, I didn't have this down at first. All of these cards I had not seen, but they were pulled. And Spirit led me to pull an extra catalyst for each pile. Yours is death is an illusion. I am looking at what feels, and then you got that engage your invisibles message. They want you to be confident in knowing that your spiritual assistance is going to begin to show up for you in your waking life. The solar eclipse, again, solar eclipses are about what shows up in our outer world and the way that things can shift and change in our outer world, in the way we are living. This Five of Pentacles would indicate that some of you have gone through a period of grief, isolation, feeling left out, feeling perhaps misunderstood, having some challenges, either financially, in your health, even in your relationships, because remembering this whole reading is about this new moon solar eclipse in Libra, Libra being very much concerned with relationships, how we partner with others, how our relationships, there's always that give and take quality to our relationships, that there's got to be that balance, trying to strike that balance. And we've got this field of dreams that comes with your invisibles. Many of you are very creative, artistic even, I'm feeling, some of you. And with this Queen of Wands, it's your desire to express more in the world and your desire for commitment. Some of you, if there's been divorce, death, some change in marriage or your partnerships in that way, that has been something that Spirit is recognizing here and asserting for you in this message. Eight of Wands, there's going to be swift changes in how love shows up for you, this next phase of love. And there's something, whatever loss this was, it makes me feel like you pulled back a little bit. This be yourself is reassurance, perhaps, especially for those of you who have been through breakups, divorces, death, etc. And a divorce is a different form of death. A breakup is a different form of death when you think about it. When any kinds of those endings that we go through that have a profound impact on us. And for some of you, you have blamed yourself, or you have in your healing process, your journey, you have taken ownership, which is good. That's healthy. You've taken ownership for it. But it's basically, your life plan is unfolding as it should. There's a reminder. Maybe some of you really needed that reminder from your spirit team. Your life plan is unfolding as it should, and as it should has included some of these experiences of endings and also some of the challenges that you may have gone through with that Five of Pentacles. Again, when I see that, I think of isolation, I think of feeling cut off, I think of health issues as well. Pentacles of the Four Suits in Tarot, Pentacles very often relates to the body and to physical health. So there could have been those challenges as well that you've endured. But what Spirit is saying, be yourself. Do not blame yourself at all for how things have evolved and for some of these challenges and losses that you may have felt. They want you to engage them. Work with them, talk to them, pray with them, sit with them, meditate with them. Your field of dreams. For you, this solar eclipse in Libra, pile number 2, is inviting you to really take time and build your dreams. For some of you, it may feel like you're rebuilding them, rebuilding existing things the way you wanted relationships to be, the way you wanted your partnerships to be. Even for some of you, this could be business. Going back to this Five of Pentacles, this could be a business that you started that folded or went under, or something about it. You didn't have the funding to keep it in place. Or you're dreaming about wanting to do your own thing, to take, to be more entrepreneurial, to explore your creativity, going back to that Queen of Wands, exploring your creativity and bringing a project to completion. That Four of Wands is a marriage card, but it is also a card of any form of commitment, being committed to a life and a life path and a life work that brings you joy. And this next 6 months, this solar eclipse in Libra is bringing you momentum in this area, pile number 2. This death is an illusion. It almost feels like you're getting a wake-up call, like you're going to have some experiences in the coming months you're gonna go, oh my gosh, now I understand. Life is unfolding as it should. Spirit has always had my back. My team has always been with me. And what I experienced, to the extent that you had to be alone or that you had to endure some shift or breakup or change in a committed project, relationship, marriage, etc., it was because it was taking you closer toward your dreams. So the ending was an illusion. Spirit, I want a little more on that, please. We have Temperance. Wow. Talk about alchemy. Talk about the qualities when we think about Libra. Temperance is ruled by Sagittarius, but in the energy of Temperance, there are always, see those 2 cups? There are always like those 2 different things that you have to reconcile. So there's the notion of me and the other, things being going my way or tough times. It's that alchemy that happens when you bring 2 things together to create something new. You are being created anew, A-N-E-W. You are being created anew, pile number 2. And there is so much wonder coming toward you. You have a King of Wands. Ooh, passion. So here's your King of Wands, who happened to come right on top of the Queen of Wands. You all are due for passion. You are due, Spirit is saying it is your time, and you are moving closer to a time of life that's going to feel very renewed, very passionate, very much like your dreams coming true. And it's because life is unfolding as it should. There will be a deeper appreciation for it, pile number 2, because you did go through this period of feeling challenged because things were not showing up for you in the way that you needed, because perhaps there was that breakup, that slowdown in growth, that financial challenge, that health challenge, that friendship that got called into question, the children or the family members who perhaps feel like they didn't support you in your time of need. But Spirit is saying it was not on you. Don't ever question yourself. Be yourself. And in this next 6 months, this solar eclipse, I think there are things that are going to start to appear in your life that are going to affirm just how special you are. And that project, if some of you have put down a project that was going to require patience and timing, that's another aspect of Temperance. It is a card of moderation. It is a card of patience, pile number 2. It's a card where it takes time to take the way life is in one way and the way it is in another and create something new from it. But that is exactly what you're doing. And to engage your invisibles is a way to speed that process up. All right? Your message, I saved this one for the last. It says, I'm in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. Wow. Wow. That's what this solar eclipse is bringing you, pile number 2. It is bringing you engaging your invisibles is bringing you such guidance. There is so much guidance that's being offered and coming your way. During this eclipse now, you should start feeling it. Maybe for some of you, you've already started feeling that and getting that sense of having, your dreams could be more powerful. Your intuition could be heightened. You could be, messages that you get through readings like this, or other people, who seem to chime in on an idea that you've been thinking, and it pings you. You go, wait a minute. I was just thinking about that. I was just talking about that. But those revelations and understanding that death is an illusion, meaning the endings of life, the chapters of life that we go through, it is an illusion because it always prepares us for what's next. Life is unfolding as it should. And for you all, there are going to be periods of time where it starts to speed up, because all of these cards that I'm looking at are related to fire. Let me spread them out again. Let me put this one over to the side. You have Temperance, ruled by Sagittarius, fire. You have that King of Wands who came and spoke on top of the Queen. So that's authority. That's the way passion shows up, and your willingness to act on passion, your willingness to feel confident, be yourself. How well that Queen of Wands ties into be yourself. So there's this confidence, this renewed sense of confidence that you're going to go through. And the Eight of Wands is that messenger, is communications, is, activity that starts to heat up. With the Four of Wands, that completion. Fire across the board for you all, pile number 2. That is passion, that is renewal, that is having patience with yourself to let things unfold. It is owning up to that, being yourself, by being yourself, and accepting that life is unfolding the way it should. It sets you free to go from a feeling of lack, or being cut off, or things slowing down, or being so challenged with a health situation that you start vibrating more with your dreams, with what is possible, with what is still available to you. It brings you to that space of being in awe of just how much was still waiting for you behind the death, behind the illusion of what had ended. It takes you out of this and into a space of anything is possible. As long as I am myself, and as long as I have my spirit guides with me, as long as I have my ancestors with me, that's very strong. There is nothing that can stop me. There is nothing that is unavailable to me. I'm in awe at the magnificent guidance that's available to me, because you're being guided toward your dreams and toward an authentic sense of self. I also said in the beginning of this tape, we got to remember too that Venus is in Virgo. Virgo having to do with the self and self-care and the discipline of self-care, because it's not an indulgence. Very often we think, oh, self-care, go get a manicure, go to the spa, pamper. We think self-care in terms of pampering, but self-care is very much about a discipline. It is about a way of life. It is about a life path. And I think for those of you who chose pile number 2, that's what this solar eclipse is going to begin to, or continue to reveal to you, is your path to your truest self, and being in awe of how much shows up for you through your spirit guides the more you own yourself. Okay? That was such an incredible message for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, how it pings you, and how things develop over the next 6 months. All right? All right, so we're going to go on now to pile number 3. Those of you who chose the shell, and your card, your catalyst is appreciate your talents. All right, that's pile number 3. Let's go in and see what came. Take a quick sip of my tea. All right, pile number 3. We have the Hangman. You all might want to also check out pile number 1. The Hangman was a very pivotal card in that reading as well, pile number 1. We have the 7 of Cups. We have Reclaim Innocence. You have the power to make yourself better. So in reclaiming it, you make yourself better. We have a talisman. Ooh, clear message. All right. Accept struggles as lessons. Wow, very clear message coming through for you all, pile number 3. Appreciate your talents. There is magic all around you, and you are magical people. If you were drawn to this, this is going to be your closing message. I'll come to that at the end. Ace of Cups and the Sun. Oh, my. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let me say, this solar eclipse in Libra for you all, pile number 3, is going to be so amazing. It is not without work that you're going to have to do. I'm drawn over here to accept those struggles as lessons, and again, that Hanged Man. Because it could be, for some of you, going through a period of stillness, going through a period where things slow down because you have to regroup. You have to think about going at it a different way. Thinking about relationships, especially because we are talking about this new moon solar eclipse in Libra, which rules our relationships. It keeps us trying to balance me and we, right? And relationships, not just, family relationships, business relationships, partnerships of all sorts. But there's this reevaluation that you're going through, or your spirit team is asking you to go through at this time, pile number 3. But here's the deal. Once you do that, once you come out of that suspension, once you accept struggles as lessons rather than feeling victimized or resentful or angry and all those things that we're perfectly entitled to, that's life. But Spirit is saying you're at a point where as you come out of that, there is so much available to you. Appreciate your talents is your catalyst message, because you are born to succeed. There is the Sun and the Ace of Cups. There is a new time. This solar eclipse for you all is bringing in a new age, a new time, a new momentum around success, around feeling playful, around feeling renewed, around feeling, excuse me, really engaged with life. The Seven of Cups is also tied into this over here, this suspended and Hanged Man, because what happens is the Seven of Cups is saying there is all of this available to you. And I think those of you who chose this pile, you know that. You are manifestors. You are magical people. That comes across to me really clear. You believe in the spiritual arts. You work in the spiritual arts. You read a lot. You watch a lot of things. You have a sense. You have an inner sense and an inner knowing. But what can happen with that is when we get a Seven of Cups, there are so many things that you can choose to do. Some of you may find yourselves kind of hopping from one thing to the next. Maybe, say in a spiritual example, maybe Reiki this week, next week yoga, next week meditation, next week tarot. You know what I'm saying? And all of those disciplines fit together. I use them all. I hope everyone does. But the idea is, in order for you to really feel accomplished and feel like you've got some momentum going, you have to choose. Even if you just choose one at a time that you stick with long enough. Venus in Virgo, discipline and routine, what we do as a part of our daily practice. So instead of going from one thing to the next, one idea to the next, one therapy to the next, etc., Spirit is saying part of this slowing down and surrendering to a process of accepting your struggles as lessons, it clears this up. It allows you to go, no, this is the direction that I want to go in right now. And it doesn't close off those other cups. It doesn't close off the other opportunities that are available to you. It just narrows your focus on one thing at a time. It gives you that organized disciplined Virgo sort of aspect to Venus. Venus is in Virgo right now. Venus also is the ruler of Libra. And so this new moon solar eclipse is taking place in the sign of Libra. It is about balancing your focus, honing in on a singular thing at a time so that you can go forward and have the success that you want. It says you have the power to make yourself better. When I'm looking at the sun as well, for some of you, this has been health. And it could be mental health, physical health, or spiritual health. It could be your emotional well-being. But there's something where you are and reclaiming your innocence. That is a part of your healing. That is a part of your health, is reclaiming your innocence. There may be, for some of you, there may be a part that's gotten a little, a little fed up, a little jaded even, because you've had these struggles. And there's that part of us that almost can feel like, well, I'm not sure what to choose next, because if I choose this, this is what could go wrong, or this is what could happen, or that is what could happen. But when you reclaim innocence, it almost makes me think about the Fool in tarot, because when you reclaim innocence, yes, there is a risk in taking any chance in any area of life, whether it's a new health routine, a new diet, a new relationship, a new job, a new venture, a new project, a new area of study. All of those things have an element of risk in terms of how far will they take me? Will this really answer my needs at this time? But you don't know until you decide and go forward with it and do it. And that Ace of Cups is giving the potential. Aces are always the potential, the raw potential for something to happen. And it coming in cups feels like, for you all, appreciate your talents. Spirit is saying, go for it. Remember how optimistic you've been in the past about what you were capable of doing. And this is you have the power to make yourself better. You have the power to get it going. Now, I saved this. My eyes keep going there because I love, sorry about that. That's my little TV in the background. The talisman. If you do not have a talisman, now is that time. And a talisman is a magical item, a sacred item. It is something that when you wear it, it protects you. It gives you a field of energy. It protects your inner processes, your thoughts, your way of walking and being and feeling. It does that for you. It is almost like wearing your spirit guides and your spirit team. It is a reflection of the power that extends beyond you. It has supernatural qualities that are brought into the natural world. So whether that is a gemstone, a necklace, talismans come in all forms. Many of you, I feel, are already familiar with that. And if you're not, you certainly can do a little research on it and see which way spirit leads you. But there is something about the talisman for you at this time. And the next 6 months in particular, going through the energy pattern of this new moon in solar eclipse in Libra. That talisman is going to help you, going to help strengthen you. It's going to give you that power, and reminding you have the power to make yourself better. It could even be, for some of you, creatively make a talisman. Learn about the qualities of talismans and the different types of talismans and create one for yourself. And this is a way of you reclaiming your innocence. Innocence meaning what you still believe is possible. Innocence meaning a purification even. Ooh, you got the two aces here now. You got the Ace of Swords, different decks. But you got the Ace of Cups, and now you've gotten the Ace of Swords. This is such a new time for you, pile number 3. And it is about beginning to tell yourself a different story, beginning a different idea, sitting down and logically, while you're in this slow down mode, logically accept struggles as lessons. It's about giving yourself a different roadmap intellectually. Remembering as well, Libra is an air sign. This solar eclipse in Libra, it is an air sign. And so this has a lot to do with not just your emotional space with that Ace of Cups, but what you are saying, what you are doing, what you are calling into existence, reclaiming your innocence. You know, having the power, claiming your power to make yourself better, speaking to your body directly if this has been a health issue. The sun, an opportunity to feel renewed, to feel reinvigorated, to understand that you have learned the lessons from the struggles. And now you're ready to move on. You're ready to act on it. Appreciate your talents. Go back and revisit some of those passion projects that you had. The Knight of Cups. Moving ahead emotionally. Moving ahead and trusting in that innocence. Trusting in the ability to create. Many of you are really creative. I feel that strongly. Many of you are truly creative, and it could be that you work with children or you are reclaiming your innocence in your own childlike belief in what's possible. It's like just turning a whole new leaf on life and remembering to play, remembering to evoke your protections with your talisman, appreciating your talents and using them. Yeah, because the 5, I'm not surprised that this came. The 5 of Swords is in direct contrast to that Ace of Swords. For some of you, there's been a doubt that has crept into your energetic field because of either taking in too much conflicting information. This takes me back to even that 7 of Cups when we were talking about making choices and having so many choices that it can slow you down because you don't know. You know, you keep going over and over what to pick. You want to make sure that it's right. That also is a Virgo energy because Virgos care about things being done right and can be very critical when they're not done right. And so rather than face that, it can be a slowing down where it's like, and then I just won't choose. I won't go forward at this time. But now you will. There is that clarity that is coming, and the clarity is through your talents. The clarity is through you exploring your gifts and really letting them show up in the world and show up around you, drawing to you what you need. The 2 of Cups. Wow, how powerful is that? Coming in the sacral chakra. For those of you who do chakra work, notice even the complementary colors of these 2 cards with that deep burnt orange that is an emblem of the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra ruling creativity, ruling life, ruling birth even. Where's that sun card? Ruling birth. You know, when we think about the sun and the life-giving qualities of the sun, this 2 of Cups, Libra, your relationships, partnerships, appreciating your talent to cultivate love, to cultivate beauty. I'm ready now to look at your last card. It says here, I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. Wow. Good things come easily. That's why you got to accept those struggles as lessons, because it brings you to the point of understanding and truly believing good things come easily. When you reclaim your innocence, good things come easily because you just believe it. You know, you believe it, you trust it. Good things come easily. They don't have to be a struggle. I am a super attractor. And what really gets the attraction, what really brings these things to you, your physical healing, mental healing, your healing in your relationships with that 2 of Cups, feeding off of the Ace of Cups that you had as well. And that Ace of Cups came in the root chakra with that red. You see that? We talked about the sacral chakra. The root chakra is what makes you feel safe. For some of you, you've gone through a period of time where that's hard. It's been hard to feel safe because something happened, those struggles that you dealt with. But there it is. The Two of Cups comes in to say there is a renewal that is happening that can bring about what can come easily in your relationships. And the way you get there is to appreciate your talents. And your talents are something creative. There is a talisman. Your talisman should have something to do with what prompts your creativity, what frees your flow, what gets you going emotionally, so that you can feel yourself drawn toward what it is that you want to do, so that you can feel yourself intuitively know which choice to make first, which thing to do first, which direction to go in first. That talisman is something that unlocks a portal or a key to you, not just appreciating your talents, but utilizing them. And that Two of Pentacles, ooh, love it. I really love this. You've gotten 2 sets of aces and twos. Where's my other ace that came for you? There it is, the Ace of Swords. There is, and what's so beautiful about this pile number 3 is, remember, Libra is about the we and the me. It is about finding that balance represented by twos, between yourself and another, making the choices and the decisions that are consistent with what are going to build you going further, what is going to make you better, making yourself better, making your art better, making your life better, making your relationships better, making your body healthier and better. You are a super attractor. And it is time to work on your manifestation. And your manifestation, creativity and manifestation, is something having to do with this talisman for you. Once you connect with that talisman over the next 6 months, really, really work with it. Sometimes you may have to change it, move it around a little bit, add something to it. Whether it's a piece of jewelry, a pouch, there's so many forms of talismans. But that is a power thing for you right now over the course of the next 6 months, and listening to your voice, your inner voice, so that you can make the choices to make yourself better, to reclaim your innocence, and be able to put everything into perspective, with those struggles being accepted as life lessons, putting those things into perspective so that you can move on. So much promise available for you, pile number 3. And again, I recommend that for you, you may want to go and look at pile number 1 as well, where that Hanged Man was very instrumental. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I wish you the absolute best with this new moon solar eclipse in Libra and always beyond. I'll talk to you real, real soon. Bye.